about seeing you jump in the gun.
Wake up from your snooze, come get with the crew. You know who it is, what we do. It's the crew.
Okay, coming out the gate.
Oh yeah, it's the crew. Yeah, oh yeah. It's the crew. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Stop the snooze, join the crew. We got news, we got tunes. We gon' hit you with the truth. We ain't like them other dudes.
This is really good tea.
Shout the glory to Jesus, cause of him we making moves. Oh yeah, we done found our groove. You can come get with it too. It's the crew.
Yes, sir. It is the crew, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get it, sir.
Live in the Crewniverse.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? First and foremost, like I ask everybody, how was your trip? Did you avoid any black holes, any meteors? Y'all flew in. We sent the space shuttle.
Yeah, exactly.
To get them to the Crewniverse.
You know what I'm saying? Sorry about any aliens you may have ran into.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Any extraterrestrial or whatever they call. I'm sorry, but you are here now, and we appreciate you two gentlemen for being here. Ladies and gentlemen, Mission and Brvndon P is in the Crewniverse.
We got the P and M of RPSMG in the building, baby.
Yes.
We got the P and M of RPSMG in the building, man. So how y'all feeling, man? Mission, what's going on, man? I know you out in these streets feeling disrespected, but as far as now, man, your life is going good, man. You got your AOYNOM. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
I read it. Right. You had to
AOYNO.
Yeah. So you got that, man. How's it going, baby?
Man, I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling great. Year's almost over. Looking forward to the new year. God is good. Family's good. We living, baby. We living.
Yes, sir. Brvndon, not many people have had an era in CHH. There was a time that nobody was doing anything but getting a Brvndon P beat. A black knight. You addressed
it is the Black Knight.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, my bad. Like not many people have had that, but you have had that. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. Making through. Trying to keep my head above water.
Yeah. Okay.
We here.
We in Christian hip hop, I think a lot of people are trying to keep their heads above water. They just don't want to talk about it.
Right.
But we gonna keep it a bin. We about to keep it a stack. So why don't we just jump into this? So both of you guys are still in this music scene, but it all started with the blow up of RPSMG, and I guess I can actually start with it. Started with you, Brvndon, aka formerly known as the Black Knight, or still known as whenever you produce. But you were actually driving it. You were white hot, when you were doing this, and then at that point you decided to bring your friends. Man, talk about how that RPSMG all started.
Man, RPSMG started. Literally, it was me and JG, Jesus Geek at the time or whatever. He changed his name like 6-7 times. But we was rocking, Tough Bob was in the air, and then me working on his project, The Story. And we was talking, and in the space where, at the time it was just like, all right, we need something for the Bay. Like everybody doing music and collabing something. We need something from Northern California. And it was just a piece of like, let's just get together and let's just make music. Like let's support each other, let's hang out, whatever. So RPSMG was like a thing before y'all knew it was RPSMG. Like there was other people that was involved. You know what I'm saying? And
sound like the disciples. Got it.
And through that, that's how I met Mission. Was through Justin.
Okay.
And then that's how I met Kenny, was through Mission and Justin. So it's just like it just naturally became a thing to where it was just like, okay. And then we just made great music together. Yeah. Outside of
definitely.
it was, it was me and Justin make good music, Mission and Justin make good music. So it was all these different components. And then we wasn't a group.
Yeah, it was just people that like to make music together, huh? Just people that make music.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's crazy how people call us a group, which is okay. It's perfectly fine. But it's crazy how we talk about this all the time. We only had one music video.
Is that the Starting 5 joint?
Yes, there's only one music video.
Wow. And you know what? And now that I think about it, that actually that is only one.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
and then we made vlogs and we was hanging out and like people enjoyed the little vlogs that we was doing. But you know, in that free download era that that was happening, SoundCloud.
Yeah.
I don't know what it just popped. And it sucks that we didn't keep it going, but I
mean, we'll get into that. I can't wait to get into that. So, Mission, you get this phone call or y'all meet up or whatever the case is, and they're like, yo, we do music together. Like, we love the Lord. I don't know if y'all were talking about love the Lord at the time. Maybe y'all just
let's build
music. Right. Like, yeah, maybe. I mean, how did that conversation go, and what kind of made you say, yeah, we could do this?
Yeah, well, Justin was kind of the person who introduced me to kind of everybody except Kenny. So Justin had hit me up on his song. He can argue that. He said I hit him up to check out his song, which I don't do stuff like that, so I know I didn't do that. But he hit me up because he liked one of my songs, and once he hit me up, he's like, "Hey man, I think you dope. I want to get you a part of this group. It's called RPSMG, whatever the case may be." And I had started hearing about these cats like Black Knight, whatever. I'm calling Brandon.
Right, that's who he is, Brandon. Yeah,
some other cats that was a part of it. And I had heard about him, but I didn't like Brandon because he was like a little arrogant, and I'm like, I'm super not with none of that. I'm like, no, I don't care. Like, what I'm saying? But the story to why I really didn't like him, it wasn't even his fault. I was supposed to do this like Sweet 16. This is where the disrespect starts. So this is why I take it over.
Okay.
I was supposed to do this Sweet 16. KB was there. The Truth was there. Who else was there? Trip Lee.
I think Trip was there.
Trip Lee was there. Everybody was there. So I'm like, this is my shot. I'm gonna let you know what I'm saying. So as I'm about to go on stage, they're like, "Hey, bro, we're gonna exit that segment out. We're not gonna do that no more." I'm like, bro, I've been preparing since y'all told me about it.
Yeah.
Oh, so it don't happen. Next thing I know, I see this super tall, skinny dude coming up there rapping, and I'm like, first off, it was trash.
All right, hey, it was soda.
I thought they, you know what I'm saying? So back then, I didn't even go and even say nothing to the bruh because I was just so mad about it. I just kind of let it slide. But I took it out on Brandon, and I had finally told him, he's like, bro, I didn't even know who you was, and I didn't even know, like, I don't know what happened. You know what I'm saying? So that was a misunderstanding, but that's kind of how that's exactly how I got introduced, was Justin. And then once I got around Brandon, once I got around the team, we started to build a organic chemistry. We was all funny. We all liked each other. And you know what I'm saying? It kind of just stuck from there.
Do you feel like that y'all get the credit for being, really the starters of the Bay music, because now we hear Miles Minnick and he's really taking on that, that mantle these days, but it really started with y'all, the whole starting five joint with the beats and everything and the dancing, like
they was definitely stealing all those beats.
Yeah.
But hey, we don't judge. We don't judge. Hey, it was dope music.
Hey, the mixtape game from these guys was crazy. I don't think people understand what they were doing with these mixtapes, but do y'all feel like that y'all kind of didn't get the credit for starting that wave?
I mean, before we get into that, I gotta show love to the ones before us, to Q Heen, transparent, to
House of Slap, you know what I'm saying?
House of Slap, yes, like all of them guys that really was putting on for the West before, that put me on, that put Mission on, you know what I'm saying? And House of Slap, DJ Anointed is actually the dude that told me to do the Rapzilla remix contest. That put me on the map. Like, like you got like 2 nights, like you should do it, bro. You should do it. And if it wasn't for him, like, who knows? Like Black Knight.
If it wasn't him, you would be the minister of music at your dad's church. Like, what you mean? like what you like? Come on, I mean, let's just call it what it is. Like, we know these things, but no, I hear you, bro.
And before that, shout out to Miles, because I don't want this to feel like no slight.
We'll get into the slight later. But for right now,
take that portion of the show. We got a program.
Just put that out there. Shout out Miles, love everything. He had us a part of Glowcella. So he definitely paid that homage for sure.
Yeah. Yeah,
But-
that's huge. But yeah. There we go.
No.
Go ahead. Talk your stuff. Talk your stuff.
No, we don't. I mean, I feel like a lot of this stuff is a blueprint from RPSMG. When you got the cliques, you got the people, coming with their squads, and killing it, and rightfully so. But I think for sure we were the blueprint for that. And as far as the West Coast sound, I think because we dabble in so much, we don't. Because, I mean, when you listen to us, you can't just say, we got our West Coast stuff. We have that on every project, but you can't just say these are only West Coast rappers. But we are from the West, and we rep the West well. And we do not at all get the credit for the sound. Like, I hear people saying, oh, Miles created the bass sound. And I'm just like, y'all just not listening at all. Like,
not verse on the history.
Yeah,
it's okay.
I mean, but
these kids these days, they don't know. You know what I'm saying? What can we say but educate?
right.
I mean, that's what happens. That's definitely what happens. But I want to stay on this arrogant piece because I've heard things. Mind you, I'm not Nodwar or anything like that. Like, I talk to people, okay? And KG used to tell me that they used to have to get in your behind, Brandon, because you used to be Hollywood. Like, what is he talking about? Like because we know. Like, I mean, I'm just keeping it a bean. Like, was this around the time that you started? That you was traveling around with Reach
city to
Records?
city.
Like, I mean, is there a true fact? Like, were you?
I'm gonna keep it lit. Like, looking back on it, I had a big head. I was arrogant. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I was the guy. I was, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, but you was
doing different stuff, not just with Andy, but like, traveling, doing my own stuff. I was home. I was probably home maybe like 3 months out of a year. You know what I'm saying? Total from just traveling. So it's just like, I'm 22. I'm 21, 22.
Right.
And not knowing how to deal with all the clout that's going on. You know what I'm saying?
They weren't even calling it clout back then.
Wasn't.
You didn't even know what to call what you was dealing with.
Yeah, no, because Brandon was, he was literally, one of the hottest things at that time. We talking about, what was it? Bibles in the Air. Like, we talking about that era.
Oh, don't forget the Black Knight beat tape.
The beat tape. Yeah. And like, you know what I'm saying? Along with traveling city to city, being Andy Minio's drummer, like, I could imagine at that young age, like,
I would have felt.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, we feel ourselves now.
You know what I'm saying? With the little stuff we doing. You know what I'm saying? So I can imagine at that time for a 22, 21-year-old that you started overly feeling yourself a little bit.
So who had to call the dogs off? Because I know Mission was probably trying to see you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Who was it that came to Brandon that was like, hey, man, and like, what made you kind of look at yourself and be like, yo, I am tripping?
It was honestly, I think from the fact of like, I had all this clout behind my name, it was like, it felt like people couldn't approach me about it at the time. You know what I'm saying? Because it was just like, it was, I don't know. That's how I felt, and I guess the moment where it happened, it wasn't until I stopped playing with Andy.
Wow.
Until I actually sat back and I detached myself and started at the church that I was at, being an MD and learning how to like handle people, and like, Brandon, your way and your ideas is not always the best. You know what I'm saying? So that right there where I had to learn actually how to be a friend. You know what I'm saying? And actually, like, that's where it started. So like 2017. So from like 2012 to like 2016, 2017. You know what I'm saying? And then even throughout COVID. So stuff didn't really hit until COVID.
Yeah, man, that's wild, man. But y'all have had such an iconic run, yet y'all have had your own issues. Mission, I know that you had not recently, but you wound up getting remarried. Now, were you divorced to the same woman? Let me make sure I make that clear. Now, were you divorced before RPSMG, during RPSMG? Like, that whole situation?
It was during it, and that was like one of the hardest times of my life, man. It was like it was frustrating because like I was going through all this at home, but my music career is kind of gaining some traction. You know what I'm saying? So I was like super confused. I'm like, man, like how am I doing good in this? And then all this is just failing, like, and completely failed. And I think in that time is when you know, God sat me down and was just like, hey man, like you're putting a lot of energy and time into this. You see what it's doing. You didn't put no energy and time into, you know, into your marriage and all that type of stuff. That's why this is failing. And, you know, I always look to try to blame somebody else because I always wanted to present as the good guy. Like, nah, man, like I'm doing what's right. But God just had to, you know, put that mirror back on me. It was like, you neglected these things. And, you know, that's why certain situations happen. And it was definitely during, but it was, you know, it was the time where, you know, I felt my weakest, but then I came out super stronger. And just how I think, how I act, how I react, and, you know, and that's where it led me where I am today.
I was just about to ask that. Do you feel like that was essential to be where you are?
Absolutely. I think the maturity that came out of it, like, because like I be wanting to say so much stuff or like do so many things, but just knowing how to endure, or like, you know, when I felt wronged by people, you know what I'm saying, like in the space, or just, you know, I learned how to deal with, you know, certain things internally and prayerfully, to be honest, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of stuff that I could have, you know, went bad about, I didn't, because, you know, because of that situation made me strong in, you know, in my maturity and my relationship with God and everything like that.
Yeah, man. So at this time, like you all are going through that. I kind of want to go back to the fact of, you know, this, I kind of, because again, we've said it a lot of times that RPSMG doesn't receive the credit that they're supposed to receive. I often talk about Black Knight's era, but RPSMG had an era, and not many groups can say that they had an era. They come, they go, they do something real quick, but y'all really had this movement that started by video and record. I mean, sent y'all out of here. You know what I'm saying? That gave y'all like a lot of notification, like a lot of notoriety.
But like not just that, bro. I mean, when we talk about like that was kind of the beginning of auto-tune, and y'all like definitely jumped on that before anybody else. Y'all wasn't following, you know what I'm saying, the pattern. Like that was the early stages, and y'all jumped on that with these auto-tune melodies and everything that y'all were doing. Starting five, that was the hook. Like it was the auto-tune joint, the bass, like so that was just crazy. So yeah, that was dope.
Go ahead.
When we say like when I think of like, because like a lot of things people are doing now, like and I think where and it's not nobody's fault. What benefited was how the internet is now. Like, because we had celebrities shouting us out, Megan Good, on Twitter.
Wow.
Like, this is before, you know, before all of this stuff, and now people
just imagine if y'all would have had TikTok back then,
man.
What? Come on.
I think a lot of it is it's just the time that we're in too. So I don't want to make it seem like it is no credit's being done, but there is a lot of things that's benefiting artists that we just didn't have. Like how dope would have been to say Megan Good back then and be able to blow it up and make this big old post about it. You know what I'm saying? We already did a lot of this stuff. I had to say that.
A lot of this has already been done, and that's crazy. Like, you know,
just a magnifying glass now.
You know, everybody starting to work. You know, it seemed like everybody in CHA starting to try to work with Rodney Jerkins. It's just like, I've already done it. Like, I did it. And everybody's trying to blow it up. And making this big old thing. It's just like, okay, that's dope.
Yeah.
It's just, you know what I'm saying? So it's just
but it's been done.
It's been done. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so the internet is crazy.
I mean, but what can you do, right? I mean, what can you do other than, like Mission said, like just chunk it up to the fact that the time is a lot different now. No reason, you know, and I don't believe that y'all are. No reason to be bitter, no reason to hate, none of that. You just understand that with the time, that is in fact, you know, kind of what changed. But when we talk about RPSMG, y'all had such a great thing but it came to an end to the point where y'all made Until Next Time. And nobody knew, I remember nobody knew that y'all was really calling it quits, even in the title. Like the title was Until Next Time. But nobody really called it. They was like, yo, this is fire. Like to a personal testimonial, my wife didn't know the Christian hip hop existed until we got together. We've been together for 8 years. She did not know that Christian hip hop was anything. And she didn't care for it. But when Until Next Time dropped, she loved that project. That was one of, like, she was like, yo, Christian hip hop can sound like this. Yeah. Like, we would go places and they'd be like, yo, put on some music. She'd be like, yo, put on Until Next Time. Like, that's how forward that project was. But obviously there was turmoil within RPSMG, or was it? You know, what exactly happened that led to that? Because y'all were, it seemed at the top of the game, there was no reason to kind of disband.
Yeah. And that was, and I'm gonna keep it lit. That was on me. That was on me. That was on me.
What you mean, Brent? Hold on. What you mean?
That was on me.
Because, and Justin.
And I was about to throw Justin in there.
It's their fault.
so I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out which one is Justin.
That's JG.
That's JG.
Yeah, that's JG.
Right, that's
the one on the hood of starting. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, his artist name then was JG, so I'm like, Justin, who's just like,
right. You know they call him, but they rapper. They know him. They know him. Exactly. Just like you said, Kenny, that was KG.
Right, JG, because JG left first, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and he came back just to do he was already gone before the project actually.
He wasn't on. He wasn't on.
He was on Sweet and Sour.
Oh, he had one. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, one. I thought it was two, but yeah, one record.
That was the first song. That was Sweet and Sour was like the first song that we did after the RPSMG tape dropped.
Okay.
So we was just like, this song is fire. It would be trash to take them off. Like, let's just. But what actually happened?
No, it was good. Yeah, that was good. Go ahead.
What actually happened was it was just a whole bunch of pride. Like, who started RPSMG? Who did? Who came up with the name? All of this, who's, you know what I'm saying? And at the time, it was just like, we started it together, but it was because my name was like here.
Yeah. There's always a David Ruffin. There's always a David Ruffin situation.
Bobby Brown, Omarion.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but the name, you're right though.
David Ruffin.
No, for real, you spitting facts. Go ahead.
So it was just a lot of pride, and we didn't know how to thoroughly communicate and actually talk through what was going on. Mission the entire time was just like, bro, if we a group, because we all wanted our separate little, you know what I'm saying, little careers, want this to pop off.
But y'all was dropping like crazy. Mission was dropping. Excellence was dropping. KAG was dropping. Like y'all all were dropping in the time that y'all was huge. So it looked like that y'all were doing it. Y'all had the group and y'all had y'all separate success.
But that whole time RPSMG was happening, I didn't drop nothing. I didn't drop nothing because RPSMG was just like, you know what? This is me. Not like me, but like, you know what I'm saying? This is where I get This is me putting out an album because RPSMG is what's hot right now. So but it was just a lot of pride, like a lot of fights, a lot of like just ambition. The whole time was just like, bro, if we a group, let's just let's just rock with a group.
I think in it, we didn't feel like we were as big as we were. And like, I still think now we still be like shocked when people's like, man, I grew up on y'all. Like we really rock. And I was like, but I seen it the entire time. I was like, hey, let's just focus on RPSMG for a little bit. Our individual stuff, we'll do that later. But I think the disconnect was Brvndon and Justin because they were so like, since, you know, like I thought Justin started it because he's the one who hit me up. Right. You know what I'm saying? I don't know the conversation that they had between each other behind, you know what I'm saying, when they were formulating this whole thing. Right. So I think it was just too tough to get over that. And I feel like since Brvndon like we're all like individually like alpha men. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, you know, Brvndon, like, yeah, like he was the most popular, but I felt like I'm Mission. Like, I'm not going.
Wasn't nobody rapping like you, Mission. I'm gonna just put it out there. When we talk about rapping in the group,
right?
I mean, you had that locked up.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I was doing like a lot of the hooks. Like we was all like, so, and Kenny was like, well, I'm not finna take a like little homie seat. And so it was a lot of that. Yeah. A lot of us like not just finna give Brvndon, you know.
And I was the youngest too. So exactly. Like I'm the youngest.
Okay.
Like, but at the same time, we didn't feel like at the time he would handle us correctly. Like if it was like, yeah, bro, do your thing, you know what I'm saying? But the arrogance kind of played in there a little bit. And then we also got Justin. Like Justin was the David Ruffin. Like Justin was the you move out of the way, I'm gonna get in the front.
Dang. Because I did before y'all started like actually branching off and having your own identities. He did branch away and have his own identity. He had a group
Red Letter
that they were Red Letter where they were performing and everything like that. Like he literally, you know, just kind of left and he was okay when he did his own thing. So no, I mean, yeah, what you're saying definitely is making sense.
And I mean, I would think, you know, being the singer in the group, he thinking that he's that dude. Like I'm putting these melodies in. Like y'all not gonna deliver that like me. Sure, y'all can write it, but who gonna really deliver it? Like who gonna sing it? Like
hey, and like no, I did not. You stupid. I didn't know Justin was a singer. Because I only seen him like rap, like he let go of my ego, the song Bibles in the air. That's all I seen. So when he was like, nah, bro, I'm a singer, and like I knew he could sing, but I thought he was just like, oh yeah, you get to sing a little bit, you rap, sing, whatever. No, he was like, no, bro, I'm a real singer. So that caused you too. It was like, we rappers, bro. Like, we're not gonna put you on every single hook just because you rap.
Yeah, nah, he was tied, like straight up, like topped out, like sing, but you rapping, like straight up, like.
So we started seeing the breakdown. I think the first one to actually leave, I thought was Excellence, because he started going to barber school. I thought that he was trying to become a barber. I thought that was kind of what started the.
Well, Justin left first.
Okay. So Justin left. When I saw Excellence doing barber, like promoting being a barber, that's when I knew that.
He knew.
I knew y'all was coming back. It was just something about that. I was like, dang, man, it's really the end.
Started seeing more pictures of you know what I'm saying, him cutting hair and stuff. Like, oh my God, no.
I did, man. So look, so before we get into the bulk of this thing, I want to know. So Brvndon, who was the first person where you knew that your beats were hitting? Like the first person to hit you or that wanted you to give them a beat, like who was that person where you was like, damn, I'm really Brvndon P. Like, I'm really the Black Knight. Like, this is a thing.
I don't think it was one person. I think everything after the Rapzilla remix contest, everybody hit me up at the same time.
Wow.
Like, that's when Andy hit me up for Pressure. That's when KB hit me up for Zone Out. Like, actually, the Zone Out beat and the Pressure beat, KB and Andy was fighting over those two beats. So, like, that's when everybody.
Is that an exclusive?
This whole thing is an exclusive. There ain't nobody heard these stories.
This first time they ain't been talked about. Yeah.
So it's just like at the time, I don't know if it's just one particular person. It's just like that whole thing was looking back at it, like being in the middle of it, it was like I didn't know that I was as big as what I was. I mean, but I did because my head was big, but at the same time, I didn't know. You know what I mean?
Yes, you gotta have a balance. And I mean, everybody learns that. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have a balance of knowing you that nigga at the same time knowing you not that nigga. Like it's one and the same. Like for instance, I know they tried it. You in Christian hip hop. I know you ain't acting like this over Christian hip hop. Like I know that was the conversation that was being had. So let's just get into it, man. So you're touring. There's a rumor going around, Brvndon, that while you were touring around with Andy Mineo as his drummer, you had this idea to try and release your project. You showed him your project, and they told you that you shouldn't release it, that it is not good, that it wouldn't be good for this space, or that it wouldn't be good for rap. Correct me on this. Tell me this story, because this is something that needs to get out. Everybody has heard it, but let's talk about it. What exactly happened, and kind of what happened, man?
Here it goes.
Look, we 30 minutes in. If you know what I'm saying, we waited. We had to wait till they really got in here to know what's going on. So talk to us.
So we're gonna get into it. So, okay.
Yeah, hey, take your time. Do you need some water? Like,
I don't even know where to start, bro. So I was touring with Andy, and this whole like concept of, hey Andy, let me get a verse from you, bro. Like let me hop on a song. Like hop on. No, I don't know, bro. Well, why not? So this is around the time, like I wanted him on headphones.
Oh yeah.
So I wanted to get him on headphones. I was like, yo, throw a 16 on this. And he was just like, man, you should give me this song. You should give it to me. I'm like, nah, no.
It'd be like that.
I've
heard this.
I've actually heard this,
times.
and I've actually heard since we talking. I've actually heard this about Andy Mineo. This is not the first time that I've heard that he's told an artist to give him the record. But go ahead.
So I would say that's probably more common than so. You can't just make it an Andy Mineo.
I mean, I'm just saying we're talking about Andy Mineo.
True.
I wanted to I've heard this, but go ahead. Right. You're right though.
Yeah, big artists do this a lot.
I've done it. Like Kenny sent me a record. I'm like, yo, Kenny, let me do this. Like, but
right.
So it started with that, and I'm like, nah. And then just more songs would come about, and I would be like, yo, give me a 16. No. Why not? Well, Brandon, I feel like your music's trash.
Wow.
I'm like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. What you mean my music's trash? He was like, I feel like it's no cap. We about to get into it. He literally was just like, bro, I feel like you should just stick to just producing and writing songs for other people. You ain't got the voice. Wow. He was just like, it's low key. It's low key disrespectful to the people that call it rap.
So, yo, what did that do to you? Like hearing that from him?
Oh, it knocked me. Like I was just like, and Dre was in the van when it happened, and Dre was just like, Andy, did you really just say that?
We're talking about Big Dre, the producer, his DJ.
DJ at the time. He's like,
so did that? Hold on, let him finish, bro.
I'm like, oh wow. And then he was just like, because they was on this, like, it was at this time of like Andy and Lecrae was trying to jump out of the CHH box and be more like, you know what I'm saying? So they was trying not to attach themselves to youth groups or whatever, or this and that and the third. Meanwhile, we about to go do a youth convention. Like we in the heart of Nashville, about to go do a New Year's youth convention, and you talking about you don't want to be attached to youth group music.
Right.
So that's kind of wild,
And because Black Knight was attached to Bobbers in the Air, clapping, headphones, it was like it was youth group music. So that's why I was like, okay, all right, you don't feel like I could rap, you don't feel like, you know what I'm saying, I can make grown music. All right, for sure. Like I'm gonna show you. Boom. That's half the reason why I changed my name.
Oh, because you wanted to be taken more serious as a rapper rather than just be known for the producing as the Black Knight.
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah. And so,
by the way, he first broke that news on our show.
It wasn't exclusive. I got to go find that and put it in right here. Okay.
Yeah. It's him, sir.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
So, and then what really did it was even I showed him the Brandon P album. Like, I'm like, yo, what you think? He's like, yo, this is dope. Even Limitless. I'm like, I wanted him on Limitless. So he was like, yo, change this hook or change these words, do this. Maybe. And I'm thinking like he's giving me, we're on tour. So I'm thinking he's giving me these ideas for him to be on the project.
Right.
No, sir. Still didn't get a verse.
Dang.
I'm like, all right. And so I showed him, he was just like, bro, like, nah. And then, like, okay. So then, tour happened. And, that's when the Uncomfortable Part 2. Mm-hmm. And then that was kind of like Dre was on his way out. And then I was just like, yo, I can't play for the tour unless I open up.
Look at you giving demands. Okay.
Like, I mean, that was just like a, all right, you're not gonna give me a verse. All right, for sure. So the whole time, like, I've been playing producer for the dude. I never got a verse. You know what I'm saying? Getting told, bro, you should delete your music off. You should delete this off YouTube and take this off and do this and not do music no more and just like be a producer, writer. Like that definitely like affected every piece of like my identity of it. You know what I'm saying? Right. So just being the person is just like, and that attack kind of threw itself into RPSMG too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That mindset of like, like, oh wow, somebody I actually like. I mean, I still look up someone. It's Andy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's Andy. Yeah.
So it's just like, bro, somebody I actually look up to had time with on the road. Like I was home with family, and then I was on the road with them. Like for the majority of the past 4 or 5 years that I was rocking with. And I can't get a verse because of your taste in music. Like, it's kind of wild.
Yeah, but you got that 40 verse though.
I got a 40 verse.
You got a 40 verse. I mean,
I got a Lecrae verse.
40. I mean, you did. You got facts. You got a Lecrae verse. Exactly. You got a Belief verse. Who Belief? Man. Yeah.
So it was all
exactly.
And even after Brandon P did what it did, I still wanted Andy on Better Late Than Never. Like he did a conference in Sacramento. I had a whole like little writing camp, little writer set up the studio in the living room and all of that. He slid because I think I was like, yo, I'm having a, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Still didn't get a verse.
So the fact that everybody else is kind of showing you love within the space and giving you verses and then allowing you to work with them with you as an artist. I could imagine that probably just made it that much more worse when, you still wasn't able to work as an artist with Andy, you know what I'm saying, and get a verse from him. And was it ever a question in your head where you was like, am I only being used like because I'm the drummer and I'm a great producer? Is that the only reason why he's showing me love? Because we're human, you know what I'm saying? And so something like that would possibly pop up in my head. If I'm being honest.
It definitely popped up in my head. Like, and that's where it was just like, instead of actually communicating that, because like at the time I was very passive. I don't like confrontation. Like, like I'ma just eat it all up until I just explode. But I definitely was just like, damn, these niggas is using me.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
And that was kind of like that for my whole entire life. Like as a drummer growing up, like people just hit me up just to play, not really, you know what I'm saying? Not really wanting to actually whatever. And so that threw itself into all of my career. Like not really wanting to build relationship with people, just hitting people up just for when I need something. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just a couple weeks ago, somebody hit me up. I'm over here. I call people, text people to ask, hey, can you do this? They don't respond. They don't respond.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I get a call. I was like, oh snap, this dude calling me. Oh, hey bro, so you remember that song we did back then? Do you still got this? What sample was it? We on the phone for about 30 minutes, me trying to find a sample. And I'm like, I called you 6 months ago, you ain't answer.
Right. Didn't say a hey, I was busy, didn't say a nothing.
Yeah. And now you want me to take my time out and look for this dang sample because you want to back catalog and make sure all of this is all right and all that type of stuff. And I'm just like, and then he's like, yo, I'm like, hey, shoot me a verse. Me and Mission finishing up on BF2, BF3. He's like, man, I'm working on an album, so I'm trying to focus on this. I'm like, all right.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So
it's
still it's like the respect level ain't there. And it's just like, why? You know what I mean? And you know, I don't, you know, people still, you know, I make mistakes in the past and all that type of stuff, but it's just like, it's years is going by. You know what I mean? If you got a problem or if I did something, like, let me know.
Yeah.
You know? So that's kind of the rumor of it.
The rumor is true. Wow.
Yeah.
That's wild, man. So how long did it take you? Did you tell? Because see, I've heard some stories about RPSMG. I've heard of y'all Mission, you know, pulling up on people. You know what I'm saying? That hey, look, because you know, I'm talking it right. I've heard of y'all pulling up
stories.
You know what I'm saying? Pulling up on people that like to talk noise online, even people that get major respect for kind of the way that they present themselves. You guys have never backed down from, you know, making your voice known. Did Brvndon tell y'all immediately when that happened? Were y'all ready to go have a conversation with Andy yourselves? Like, talk about that moment that he let y'all know that that's kind of what happened.
I mean, you kind of we had to pull it out of him at that point. You know what I'm saying? We was never ready to pull up. We was more so just like, hey, bro, like, you don't need that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
you are a dope artist. Like, yeah, okay, look, let's work on these things. If this is what it is, it was more so of us like encouraging him, like, nah, bro, like, you do this. This is, you know, this is what you do. And, you know, I did have like some feelings towards it. Like, dang, like, that's kind of super whack for you to say, because like, I only seen them dudes on the internet and I'm looking up to them like y'all here for me. Like, and, you know, for me, it just made me kind of question the character. It made me question, you know, like, dang, what type of dude are you? You know what I'm saying? Like, not that because I never even cared enough to, like, you know, go and seek that out. You know what I'm saying? But it was more like I cared about my brother, so it was more like, all right, bro, look, let's get better at it. If this is what you want to do, then yeah, like, and so what Andy should have said was, hey, bro, like, take more time on your verses. Or, hey, bro, like, you know what I'm saying, youth group rap that won't be able to sustain you. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't call nobody just trash. Like, I call people trash, but like, if you're asking me for advice, I'll never call nobody trash. I'm gonna give you constructive criticism. And that's kind of my only gripe with him, was like, you could have gave him constructive criticism instead of tearing them down. But for us, we was just like, bro, we don't need that. Like, we can good. We making it, you know what I'm saying? Like, Bob's in the air didn't blow up because of Andy. Song it blew up because of Andy. You know what I'm saying? So like, why even, you know, let that have so much weight on you? But when you're around somebody that much and you consider them a big brother or a friend, I can see how that could affect you. But we weren't really pull, but we pull up if we got to, though.
I mean, like I said, I've heard of people, you know, kind of being in the same vicinity that y'all are in, and if
not even on no tough guy stuff. I'm just a man of like a principle and morals, like, and you know, it wasn't even on in that particular incident. It wasn't on no, I'm about to go pull up on you because I'm hood and I need to have that conversation with you as a man. You know what I'm saying? Whatever happens, happens. But I just need you to know that I'm not a little kid. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And that's the way. Right. And I want to make it clear that is the way that I perceived it when I heard the information. Yeah. That is the way I perceived it. I didn't perceive it as y'all was about to, you know what I'm saying, ready to throw hands. I mean, like you said, whatever happens, happens. But y'all were ready to have that conversation.
What's the story that you got? What's the story that you got?
Look, man, look. What I heard was it was some dudes, you know, from the Purple group. It was some dudes that was in a location, and I want to say that they was talking spicy to or about Brvndon. But you know, KG was kind of like, we'll go and we'll have the conversation. is what that's the way the story goes. But again, I don't know it specifically. I wasn't there. But that is the story that I'm speaking of.
I don't even think I know that story.
Yeah, it was squash. It don't need to even be, you know, it wasn't.
Right, that's what hey, look, I wasn't even trying to, Brvndon did that. I was trying to keep it as clean, you know, as clear as possible, man. Because, I mean, but I've even heard this, it's not just y'all, I've even heard this about 1K Famo. Like, they don't travel lightly. Like, they'll pull up to a show if it's a conversation that needs to be had. I like that term. If there's a conversation that needs to be had. So that's not something that's specifically to you guys, but because you guys are legends within this space, things that you do travel. Put it to you like that. So at that point, that's the information that I got. So
another thing that
go ahead.
Got me too was like, Tom, we talked about this. It was like I was around these niggas. Day in and day out. I was around Craig. I was around KB. I was around, and in my head, I'm like, first off, y'all don't see what I can do. Y'all don't see it.
Right.
I make my own beats. I got some clout. Yeah. Like y'all ain't gotta pay. Why haven't y'all signed me?
Right. So did you think? Did you think you were getting signed to Reach Records? Was there a point that's what was going to happen?
Conversations. Me and Craig had a couple conversations about it, and I was just like, "What y'all looking for an artist?" Oh yeah, somebody who, you know what I'm saying, innovative and this and that.
Gavi. Was this the time that Gavi got signed?
Oh, bro,
that would be.
Was this around the time Gavi got?
Oh, dang. They need. You know what? They had to diversify. They couldn't have all these black people on the label. They had. I got your back, Brvndon. They couldn't have all these black people on the label, so they decided to go with someone who's not. He looks close to black, just not as black as you.
Yeah.
And then your name was Black Knight too. They couldn't double down on it. So, but no, for real, that's a real thing because
I forgot about that.
Everything that he, not to make this about him, but everything that he did and he represented. I mean, that was you in the sense of making your own beats, being able to make your own music, being able to rap. Not only that, I mean, you can play. You're the drummer at the time as well. Like, so it only makes sense. I mean, we see somebody like, you know, Wande who got signed because, you know, and she was there in their face at being, you know, doing what she was doing. And then she got signed. I mean, that seems like that's the way you go. You're touring, you're with them all the time. So I would imagine that would have been heartbroken.
Yeah.
You know, heartbreaking.
Yeah. And that kind of shook me too. And I was just like, all right, well, it's time to turn up, bro.
and you did, and you definitely did. But look, I want to give Mission his chance to talk about this. Mission, you constantly talking about you being slept on. You constantly talking about you being, you know, looked over when it comes to your music. You put out one of the best albums. It was 2 years ago, right?
2021.
Okay, so 2021, you put out one of the best albums in 2021. I said it. I made sure to say it.
Yeah, less is more. I mean, a complete project.
A complete body of work. But yet,
start to finish.
Again, you got your own record label, your collective, the thing that you're doing right now. Zadorix, is that he a part of that? You know what I mean? Yeah.
No.
Okay. Well, I see y'all together. Like,
that's why
social media can be a little bit misleading. Anyways, but with all of that, why do you feel like that you, sir, get looked over so much when people are talking about the greatest rappers in the space, or the people with the most impact, or the people that are the most consistent? Why do you feel that you are getting looked over because of that?
I think it had something to do with the whole when we called out Reach for when we felt like they kind of bit off of our idea. I think that's when stuff started to.
I remember that. We talked about that. I remember
I'll say
that.
this, shout out to Few, because Few, like, when I seen him at Glowchella, like, I was kind of like thinking we was gonna have to have a but he just, bro, was like super cool. Like, he's like, hey, bro, it ain't no beef over here, and like embrace. And it was so dope of him and the whole 1K family, 1K like
right.
They were super cool. So I'm not bringing this up to Brent because it's nothing. It's really no issues at all. But I think when I did that, I think people started to, I don't know. I think I don't know what happened, but I heard that we was blackballed. Like I heard, but I do know that people stopped messing with us as, at least that's what it felt like to me. Mm-hmm. But I think when it comes to albums, when it comes to rapping, like I'm doing it with the best of them. And like, I think it's just like, I get the love from the people, right?
Right.
My numbers don't lie. I think it's just I was looking for cosigns like from cats because all these cats know who I am.
It's different. It's different when it comes from your peers. I say that a lot. You can get all the adoration from the fans and the people that's, but when your peers, those that you're like, yo, I like your music. When they don't speak on it, you feel away. I got you.
And I feel like cats don't speak on it. And I'm at the point where now it's like, cool, I'm gonna just keep doing me. But there was a time where I do feel like, because cats would hit me up in the DM or cats would be like, oh, yeah, I know Mish, I rock with, you know what I'm saying? But there was never no public love. Shout out to Rapzilla, Chad. Chad has always showed love. But there were certain cats that like rock with me behind closed doors and, but don't rock with me in public. And I mean public like to where like you rock with me tough, supposedly, but you don't like a post, you don't comment, you don't.
Right.
Which is, hey, it is what
it is.
But
that matters. That matters, especially in a time where there was a time where people only listen to one group of people. Well, if that person is in your mentions, that's going to cause them to, leak over and be like, oh, I see what you're doing. So no, that while people will say, well, I mean, it's just social media. No, that matters in the industry. It does. Yeah, go ahead.
Like, because I think Rick Ross was like, man, it don't cost you nothing to like somebody post. It don't cost you nothing to comment. So I feel like a lot of people, just don't give that, that credit. And, I feel like, when these top fives get to being spewed around, especially when they start talking about, when they're not talking about the craze and the Andes and stuff like that, and you don't put my name in it, I'm like, are you lit? You're not listening. There's no way you're listening because and I told somebody this. I was like, look, if we take out popularity, I'll go song for song with almost anybody. And if I
can agree with that.
We take out the other people that's on the songs too.
Exactly. And the reason why I feel like that when you come to my studio session, it's just me and a producer. There ain't no extra writers. There ain't no extra nothing. You know what I'm saying? And like, I send my music to people to hear what they say, but they not saying, hey, bro, you should do it like this. It's like, nah. You know what I'm saying? And I look at Cat's credits, and it's 100 writers on there. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to that, like, I just be feeling like, I'm like, bro, like, y'all just don't listen. And that's fine. But if we take out popularity and we just go, hey, let's go song for song. And we know bias. If you start Bobby your head, you start Bobby. Let's go. I can go song for song with almost anybody. And that's why I be feeling like people just not listening or they just don't care. And, all right, maybe and I put it on me. All right, I got to do a better job of promoting. I got to do a better job of this. I'm always going to put it back on me. But if we talking real, stop playing with me.
But I like that. I liked it because look, there was just a conversation that was had in CHH that competition. It shouldn't be no competition or anything like that. But my take has always been, if there is no competition, how do you get better, right? To keep it a bean, Brandon, if you don't get told that your music is trash, which sucks, but if you don't get told that, then how do you push harder to become who you are? You are already that guy when it came to making beats. You were already that guy when it came to production. but your music took a step in the correct direction because you were going to prove that was not accurate.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, where do y'all stand on this competition situation? Because True Talk Tony is giving us the truth right now. He feels he's that guy, but I mean, where do y'all land on that conversation about competition in CHH?
Hold on. Before you go, I feel like Cass is just doing what TikTok says right now. I feel like people being very churchy in your music right now is what's in. So people are going all the way in on that to even when they say something online, I'm going to make it really, really churchy because it feeds your algorithm.
It's going back.
I'm like, hold on.
Yeah.
Remixes and stuff. Y'all called that corny last year. So now it's, if you're not saying music is, if you're not doing like super Christianese music, something's wrong with you. Or if you're in some competition, like, bro, y'all all in competition. That's why you post Spotify numbers. That's why they depressed, because y'all all in competition. So no matter how you try to say it, or make it more Christian than me or Brandon or than the crew, y'all all in competition. Y'all all want y'all numbers to be better. Everybody wants to elevate. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we're not like in a negative competition, but man, if I see somebody going up, I'm happy for you, but I'm finna go crazy too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? If somebody get on my song, and there's been times Aaron Cole told me, he was like, hey, bro, Scooty watched you on this song. And I was like, you know what? He did. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, I let the song go because I was like, yeah, little bro killed that. But
was he talking about Brand New Man? Is that Brand New Man?
And I was like, dang, he kind of did go hella crazy on this.
He killed that one. Scooty killed that one.
But you know what? It was a competition. A negative competition would have been me going back and change my verse and try to outdo him. I said, no, I'm going to let little bro shine on that.
Mm-hmm.
Or you removing Scooty. Yeah, you removing Scooty out of that. Hey, Brandon, let me get you on here.
But what I said was, you know what? I'm going to let him, he can have that, but it's not happening again. Every other feature that I do or somebody do, I'm finna go crazy. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it fueled that in me. But it took my brother, like, hey, bro, he watched you on that because we got that relationship. And then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna let him have that. But then now going forward, I'm finna start.
Not again.
Go ahead, B.
I think for me, I don't care if anybody watch me on a verse. I really don't care. Whatever I do, it's gonna be a
just
vibe.
Nothing but vibes. I'm here for the vibes.
I'm here for the vibes. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna make it quotable. I'm gonna give you a quotable. You know what I'm saying? But for me, with the whole anything, it did push me. Like, I'm like, all right, for sure. Like, I'm gonna show you. That was the whole like premise of Brandon P. Like, the whole premise of Brandon P was just like, I can be an artist and I can make real.
Chain Gang was crazy. Chain Gang was crazy.
Guess do y'all know who was on the hook?
No. Who's on the hook?
Mission.
What? For real? Hey, that's great. Nah, Chain Gang was crazy. I was just listening to Chain Gang a couple weeks ago, and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I forgot how crazy this record was. Yeah, Chain Gang was crazy.
Personally, I didn't think Chain Gang would do what it did.
I told you.
That record was crazy for real.
It's opposite. So like Go Like That. Tone didn't go like that. He wanted to drop it off his album. So it was just like it's a back and forth thing.
That record is crazy too. Yeah, that record go crazy, bro. So look, all right, so let's get into it. So barely finished 1, barely finished 2. Now y'all about to drop barely finished 3. What are we talking about? What can we expect? Because this is what y'all do. Oh, there we go. Barely finished 3 is about to drop. Y'all 3 projects in. But Mish, you said on your mama, nobody is when it comes to duos,
it's not close.
There's nobody messing with you and Brandon, but we got some iconic duos. Why do you feel so strongly about that? Because we're talking about Social Club, somebody that's been together a while. Now,
are you talking about like official groups, or are you talking about like just people who come together?
According to the post, I did put Derek Minor and Cannon, which Legend. That's an iconic pair. You know what I'm saying? Andy and Cray, but they have the biggest records. You know what I'm saying? And then I put Few and 1KP sign because they always do music together. But why do you feel, even like I said, even taking into account Social Club, why do you feel nobody can mess with y'all when we talk about when y'all link up?
Are we talking about albums or we just talking about songs? What we talking
We're
about?
just talking about period, because you all's chemistry goes, it's not just the barely finished joints, right? It's not just the times that y'all featured each other on records. Y'all also got the RPSMG stuff that y'all did together as well.
We also got stuff that y'all don't even know that we did.
That's what I'm saying. So let us hear that exclusive. But why do y'all feel like nobody is messing with y'all when it comes to y'all linking up on any type of record?
I'll say for one, the chemistry is crazy. I say when it comes to rapping, like Big Dog, and when it comes to producing, you got another big dog. So you pairing those together, that's crazy. And then we talking about like songs that people can actually have fun to and dance to, but then we also can give you, you know, something that's deep and thought provoking. And you know what I'm saying? When it comes to swag, sauce, like visual, like
way too much sauce, right?
Yeah.
Way
okay. All right. That was a good one.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. That was a good one. Yeah. I like that.
I think we just saying, like, I think we trendsetters. I feel like we got the whole entire package, and it's just us. Ain't no extra shout out, ain't no extra, and we doing it just with us two. We go in the lab, and that's it. That's all that's in there. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I think with the exception of like Sean Dotson, his cousin, there ain't even no features on there. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. And you know, just based off what we've been able to do without the love from the space as we feel like we should get, because we're not getting shouted out by Andy when our project coming out. We're not getting shouted out by Lecrae. We're not getting interviews and people bringing up our name when you know that doesn't happen for us, and we're still able to push through, and people still buying, streaming, listening to our music. When we do a show, people show up. You know what I'm saying? And I think with all that's against us, without the extra boost, right, and we still pushing through, it's not close.
You know what? I can agree with that. Social Club doesn't get pushed back like that. I do know that when they went more mainstream, I know Christian hip hop kind of fell off of really kind of like saying their names because they felt like basically they were out of there. But yeah, Derek and Cannon, I don't remember them getting pushed back. Like as far as like they got the cosigns, you know what I'm saying? When they were like really actively pairing. Yeah. When they were actively pairing, I mean, they had cosigns from everybody, you know, in that time frame. So, I mean, I get it. When you put it like that, the adversity that you have to overcome on top of being consistent through it all, I'm with that. I can dig that. I can definitely get behind you feeling that way.
For the most part, I can consider this. Maybe this is me being biased, but like Barely Finished 1, Barely Finished 2. I think everything that we've done has replay value. Like you can go back and listen to it and act like it came out, you know what I'm saying, last week. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, that's, I mean, maybe I'm biased, but I can go back to BF1 and be like, and play, keep going. Just like the other day, I was at somewhere. He was like, bro, I was just slapping, keep going. Like, in the car on my way over here. I said, word, I need to go back and listen to that. He was like, bro, the ending on that was fire. And I went back, I was like, this fire.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, even the song Barely Finished, like I still be bumping like it's brand new. Like that's just the vibe on it is just so crazy. Like y'all just got on there and just slid, like, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know, talk about, you know, being able to make songs that get people out their seats and dancing, but yet y'all got vibes where, you know what I'm saying? And then y'all got the thought-provoking songs, like, you know, the whole package, like y'all delivering.
So is this the end? Barely Finished 3. We got this coming up. Is this the end of is this a trilogy? Are we going to go to something new? Like, what are we thinking with this?
We've been calling we've been calling it the trilogy. I think for the most part, I don't know. I don't think there's going to be no more wrapping up. It might be wrapping up.
Okay, but y'all go to something else.
We probably will.
Yeah, Barely Finished is probably wrapping up, but y'all gonna go to something
I mean,
else.
Barely Finished 4. I mean, I think 3.
Right.
Yeah. Barely Finished 4. Yeah.
No ceilings 1, no ceilings 2. No ceilings, you keep going. Church closed 10.
Yeah,
right. It's time.
We got to end it somewhere.
Yeah,
no, definitely that. So, Mission, I saw you. You know, I know y'all didn't recognize y'all were as big as y'all were with RPSMG, but I see you, like we said, you work with Scooty Wop. I seen you do a record with Paris Careers. You got a record out with Mike Teasy as well. Do you kind of have that pulling to do music with these newer artists? Is that kind of what that is? You don't want done what was kind of done to you, I guess, in a sense?
First off, do you feel like you're respected by them?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I do. Some I felt like they respected me a little more before they blew up. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
But I think for sure I got the respect of the newer cast. But like Mike Teasy, like that's my dog. Like we go way back. I mean 2015. You know what I'm saying? Like Teasy, before Teasy was Teasy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And a thing that I say that I'm good at is catching on before cats actually blow up. Like, because even Paris Careers, like, I think the first El Dewan was the first person I seen him on. He was on something with El Dewan, and I was like, this dude is different. And I hit him up and tried to get a feature then. It didn't work out. You know what I'm saying? Then, he deal with Craig. Then,
then he just that was it.
Paris super solid. Me and Paris I consider him a homie. Can hit him up anytime. Scooty, it's changed a little bit. Breeze, it's changed a little bit, not in a negative way, but they doing their thing and they don't owe me nothing. And this, it was a little easier to get a contact then, but I do think I got the respect of the peers. Cats, I don't think nobody's ever been like, bro, who is you? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If you in the CHH, you should know who me and Brvndon is. Period.
Yeah, because you gonna talk. I mean, Mission gonna talk. He gonna let it be known who he is. That's a fact. But now to continue on with the question before I was rudely interrupted.
My apologies.
Do you kind of have that where it's like, I'm gonna make this a point to reach back because I don't want it. I don't want what was done, to us to be done to them.
Absolutely. That's the whole point of, all you know to me is to where I can be able to reach down and, if I see potential in people or, as much as I can share my platform as much as I can, like I make it a point to do that. Like even my newest producer, Mac Busy, like he's a dog, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, hey bro, like I'm gonna put you in as many rooms as I can. And, he just produced a record for Teasy, you know what I'm saying? So his name is starting to, so I'm always trying to look and, bring people up. Mark Stevie's, Elijah Duran,
Mark Stevie,
Mark Stevie started going crazy, but he just picked up that camera and that took him away. But you know what I'm saying? But
Mark Stevie, Mark Stevie can rap for real. Yeah, like Mark Stevie.
He a beast. Definitely, I'm definitely always trying to, as much as I can, as much as God allows and my platform allows, I'm always share it.
That's one thing I'm jealous. That's one thing I'm jealous about Mission for. Is just like he's a people person. Like he know how to like go after them. Me, I'm just like, I see you.
They'll come to me. Right. I don't want to look thirsty. They'll come to me.
You let them blow up first. It's like it's too late then, bro. Right. You like everybody else now.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Nah.
Yeah,
okay. So what will there ever be I know people talk about this a lot, but an RPSMG reunion? Can y'all ever see y'all? Well, first of all, I guess let me ask this first. How is y'all relationship with the rest of RPSMG? Let me start there, because if y'all relationship ain't cool, then that ends the conversation.
It's starting to get better. It's starting. Our relationships is starting to get better. Like me and KG probably had like a 2-hour conversation on the phone. We ain't never talked on the phone that long. Like and you know what I'm saying? So it's starting to pull together. And then. Because that's the main thing. We talked about it during COVID. It's like, let's try to we started looking at what other people was doing. It was just like, this probably ain't it.
No, you don't want to bring it back and then it fall on his face, right? I mean, y'all had a moment, y'all names rung hugely. Y'all released, what was it, three or four projects? How many projects did y'all get off as RPSMG?
RPSMG?
Until next time.
Man.
Yeah.
Two.
No.
It felt like
had
more because we was releasing so much music.
Okay, we was
feel like it
releasing
was
solo
three.
stuff.
Wait, no, because y'all had the black and red joint.
Right. And
Then y'all had the black and white joint.
Black and white. And then y'all had Until Next
And
Time.
then y'all had Until Next Time. The rock
okay.
paper, yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was like a deluxe part. That wasn't like
Deluxe,
a
deluxe.
Okay. Because I downloaded both of those.
Right, exactly.
I went to the RPSMG website and downloaded them both. So I didn't know. Had me in there doing rock, paper, scissors.
Hey, but what's crazy though is like we used to have these like rock, paper, scissors tournament at this church, and we would play that
our
song
music. Yep,
in the background.
Yep.
paper, scissors.
Yeah.
That's what we used to do, man. I mean, I know y'all had to get clowned on y'all name. Like y'all had to have been like, really? RPSMG? Like, come on.
I don't
You
think
didn't
so.
understand it.
I don't think so.
Well, if you understand it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the rock? Jesus is the rock.
Yeah.
Okay. I get paper, right? Because ain't nothing I do for free. And
Nope.
then you gotta cut out the middle. See, bro.
Paper.
The paper is the Bible. I thought the paper was
is
the
Bible.
word.
The word of God.
Okay.
That's the word of
All
God.
right. So what's the scissors then? What was that
Cutting
about?
off everything that's not like God. Is
Okay.
that-
Okay. Hey, that's why don't ask me.
Yeah.
'Cause look, my carnal thinking, I ain't gonna get it together.
That's what he told me. I didn't know. I was like, I was probably like 17 at the 18 at the
I had it a
I
bit more together.
He was in his early 20s, you know?
A lot done happened since we first started listening to RPSMG. I'm not the same guy.
And man, definitely shout out to y'all, bro, because y'all was definitely the first people to like go online on Twitter and publicly be like, nah, y'all call this the Hit Factory. Like, y'all was definitely, the first people to like really give our flower early though. Like, not early, y'all was rocking.
Man, but you know what it was, man? It was the quality of y'all's music. Y'all didn't sound like y'all had just started, man. It was y'all's names were everywhere. Obviously, it was, Brandon's name blowing up, but he's the reason why we searched all of y'all out. You know what I'm saying? I was listening to Brandon, and then I saw that he had a record with Jesus Geek. Not even the Bible's in the Air joint. It was the My Story joint. You know what I'm saying? That was the one. It was all the three, You, Excellence, and JG, right? On that one record, I thought. But anyways,
on the
and then that's what got me to.
Everybody got featured on it, yeah.
So that's what I'm saying, and then that's what got me listening to Mission, and then y'all was literally KG was dropping, saying that y'all was battling it out, seeing who could come up with the craziest records, but then he dropping his own music, his own project at the same time, like, and then y'all made it accessible, like. I didn't have to go to YouTube and steal it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, y'all made it accessible, man. So, and then y'all were the first people to rock with us, to be in our lives. Like, literally, when it was 3 people in the live, it was all RPSMG. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it was just different. So we always wanted to, we covered a lot of people. We early Reach Records wasn't retweeting us. Reach Records wasn't, going back and forth with us. So to be covering y'all and then y'all retweeting us and y'all, talking to us and just having regular conversations like y'all normal people, you gotta understand at this time we thinking y'all, y'all celebrities is what we did.
Like, and even getting that interview with Brandon P at that time in 2015.
Yeah. At the Uncomfortable Tour.
When
he was feeling himself.
In Tulsa, Oklahoma. Like, you don't realize, like,
that was huge.
That was huge.
Bro, what time did we wake up? 7, 8 o'clock?
We woke up super early to prepare for that job, like, for real. And I mean, we were so, it was a proud moment for us to be able to interview you at that time. Like, it was just crazy, man. Yeah.
And then Mission's always, man, you've always had our back, bro. You've always been right there with us. Like I said, I would always see your name, in the lives, and you would just like to just talk to us, like just crack jokes or whatever, and just be normal.
Tell the crew every time I drop this news. That way, immortalized us, man. He immortalized us in a song, and that's real love.
Yes, sir.
Straight up.
I had to let him know.
Hey, it took. Nah. He was kind of telling us that he felt
Right. Yeah, that's really what he was.
Yeah, we
doing.
wasn't
It
talking
was,
about
it was a little like, hey, don't play with me.
Yeah, it was a
Like,
little
Hey, don't forget.
Yeah, it was a little jab. Hey, but we went crazy. We was like,
We did go crazy when we heard
Mission
that, man.
is infamous. Mission is infamous for throwing in little shots that you don't even know that he's talking about.
Man, that's what. Like I'm sitting there, I'm kind of confused. I'm like, dang, have we not been covering this?
Yeah, right.
That was the first conversation, but I was just like, yo, Mission mentioned us in a song.
Exactly.
Like that, unless you take it off of DSPs, but it don't matter because I stole it from YouTube. Unless you take it off of DSPs, like nobody. No, hey man, you still get the streams from Apple Music, man. Come on, man. But hey, nobody can take that away from us. You feel me? Nobody can take that away from us. But I had to save that one. 100%. Yeah, man. So whenever barely finished 3, if y'all want us to do the intro, let us do the intro, man. You know, just whatever. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is that we can do, that we could be of service, y'all let us know, man. For real, man. Hey, this has been a pleasure. I've enjoyed speaking with y'all, man. I've had an excellent time talking to y'all. This was a long time coming. Mission, you came to Tulsa, and we were supposed to kind of try to land, and it didn't happen. But it was dope meeting y'all when y'all did come. Both of y'all when y'all came to Tokyo Fest. You know, it was just a different situation, definitely. So I'm happy that we got this on. We got the exclusive. Brandon, don't try to go back on what you talked about because it's going up whether you do that or not. So look, you can't go back. Look,
I was like, bro, I hope we don't get
man.
Well, hey, no. At the end of the day, I feel like it's good because me and Andy finally had a conversation and we hashed everything out. Like
it's love, yeah.
Okay.
He shared his heart. He was just like, bro, I was at a particular time where I thought my voice made, you know what I'm saying? But he was just like, I apologize because I had no right to say what's good or what's not. You know what I'm saying? And so
I'll make sure that when I put up just that clip, because y'all know I'm gonna put up that clip, I'm gonna make sure to skip past and grab this. No, I'm gonna grab this so that I can put it closer to that point.
No, that's dope.
I don't wanna put it out there like, you know, that's where it was and that's where the conversation.
Yeah, because I would have thought that that conversation was never had afterwards. So I'm glad that, you know, you were able to go to him and talk to him and kind of explain what was going on in your mind at that time, and he, you know, explained to you back, talked to you back, like, you know, and showed you his thought process at that time. You know what I'm saying? So there's growth in these situations, and I can tell that, you know, I can tell Andy's not at the same place that he was in that time, and you know, and both of you men have grown and are better men today. You know, because y'all gone through what y'all went through. So that's dope, man, that y'all talked and hash that out.
That's why I couldn't speak on it at the time. That's why everybody was asking me, who you talking about? Who this? Who that? I was like,
I knew immediately. I knew because I got an inside line to y'all. I be talking to him all the time. Like whatever. And it ain't even
we
like
gonna
we
have
talk
to hit
all the
him
time.
up.
But look, it ain't even like we talk all the time. But the thing is, people know that when they tell me something, I'm not going to blast it. I'm just not that person. Even though we have this platform, unless I get the permission, guys, we talked about this off camera before. Unless I get the permission, that information ain't coming out.
Yeah, because you heard that like 4 or 5 years ago.
I've been heard this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I mean, I wasn't going to do it like that because that's not our place. I know people think that we're controversial, which we are. I know people think we keep up drama, which we do. But the point is that but we don't. I mean, literally, all we do is put out what's already out there.
Exactly.
So I'm happy that you are able to come on our show and let that conversation be had. But yeah, man, I be having inside lines too. Yeah. A lot of y'all people, man. That y'all
besides that, BF3 is a dog. BF3 is a dog, yo.
That's what we're ready for.
BF3 is a dog.
Now wait a minute. It ain't done yet. Y'all still working on it, right?
It's done.
It's done. January 20th, first single drop.
Hey.
So instead of barely finished, actually done.
Right.
You
heard it here first.
Yeah, finally finished, right. So January the 20th, we're going to get the first single. Is this going to be all of y'all or not all of y'all, but both of y'all, or do we have some features coming in as well?
I'm trying to get a feature right now. They just hit me back, Brandon, but they just say, I just now seen this. So it might be a dope feature. I mean, but we ain't going to speak on it yet.
That's the story. Yeah. Hey, if that feature happened, that's the story.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Just tell us whenever we get off the live. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We won't tell you. Look, I'm proving to y'all that we won't tell nobody
Exactly.
anything.
Exactly.
I've already proven
Exactly.
that. Okay.
If the feature happened though, I think it'll be good for the space, just because it'll just prove that, like, hey man, there's nothing there. Like, it's good. Even though nobody probably even cared.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it's just like, oh no, they actually working with Cat. So
Yeah.
I think it'll be
Okay.
Brandon,
how did
Darn it, it's not Kendrick Lamar.
Brandon, how did you get that 40 feature? What was that conversation like?
Oh, that was.
Oh, you had to break bread?
He had to drop the bag.
Break bread?
That So, all right, now that we there, so I'm in the studio working on the project. No fakery. My dad comes in. My dad's just like, you should get on that. 40. I'm like, what?
What?
The last person I would ever expect to be like, yo, you should get an E40 feature.
Right.
My dad. And then like 45 minutes later, he come back in. I was like, how am I supposed to get a 40 feature? Your cousin. I was like, my cousin? He was like, yeah, your cousin is like, 40 was in my cousin's movie. So my cousin, Brian Hooks, 3 Strikes, he's an actor or whatever the case may be.
No,
so I'm like,
dude, that's crazy.
Yeah. So I'm like, all right. Well, I shot my cousin a song. I'm like, yo, cuz like, I want to get 40 on the verse. Doom. He was like, all right, bet. He sent it to 40. He said 40 loves it. I'm like, well, how much do we like it? Is he gonna hop on it or not? Waited. Maybe it was like maybe a 2-3 month process. I'm like, yo, I really want to drop this record. Like, I really want to do it. Finally, 40 was just like, come to the crib. Wow. So came to the crib and he knocked it out. And then after that, I'm like, oh, snap, for sure. I'm really about to break it all out to you. So we was on tour. This is when Cray, I hooked up with 40 maybe a couple weeks before, after Cray got introduced to 40.
Mm-hmm.
So when Lecrae saw that I got a 40 verse, he was like, your verse is better than mine. Like, that it is. But it was without, so it was just like that. He was like, how'd you get a 40 verse? And I'm going through all of this because Craig told me a story about how much he went through to try to get in contact with 40.
Yeah.
But all I had to do was just hit my cousin up to get a 40 verse.
It's not about what you know, it's about who you know. Period.
And at the same time, look, this is where at the same time, I had to connect to Ty Dolla $ign. So I was on the verge of getting Ty Dolla $ign.
That's the one you should have got.
And Cray, and 40 on No Fakery. So Ty was supposed to do the third verse on No Fakery.
Wow.
So he was just like, yo, I was just like, how much is it gonna cost? He was just like, give me this. I didn't have it at the time. So it was just like, all right, give me like.
Y'all take Klarna? Did you ask them if they took Klarna?
Yeah. Afterpay.
I took out a whole loan to get the feature. Man. And then like 2-3 days later, he didn't respond. I was just like,
dang.
But at the time, the dude was just like, yo, bro, he get hit up all the time. If you don't have the bread ready right when that happened, like, he out.
It ain't gonna happen, yeah.
Dang. And then that's when, like, 3 months later, Blessings dropped.
Whoa. Yeah, well, that's why he didn't respond.
So I'm like, and this is while I was around, like, having a conversation, trying to get in contact with. So I'm talking out loud, and I'm like, hopefully, Craig didn't try to just snatch the Ty Dolla $ign, bro.
Yo.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
Well,
see, this is why you don't tell everybody what you're doing, man.
Well, see, I'm upset that it didn't work out for you, but hey, we got blessings.
We did get blessings.
We got blessings out of this. So, am I that bad? I'm sorry, Brandon, but you know, this was blessings.
It was for the greater
It was
good.
for the greater
It was
good.
for the greater
It
good.
was for the greater good.
Yeah, man. Yo, that is crazy, man.
We got stories.
So
Me
then,
and Stone got stories, bro.
and yeah, we just gonna have to bring y'all on just to
Thanks.
really just chop it up and talk about the stories and talk about how you got sent home with a bottle of Slurricane after you went to 40s.
I got blessed. Hello.
Hey, man, y'all, you know who it is, what it is, and what we do, baby. It's your boy Jay.
This is Chris.
And that's on.
And you don't even need an exclusive when you got the exclusive. You feel me?
Hey, man, I